Welcome to our weekly briefing on global affairs, live from the United Nations headquarters in New York. Today we're examining the intricate and often strained relationship between the Russian Federation and the United Nations, a dynamic that continues to shape international diplomacy and global security. Recent sessions at the Security Council have been marked by heightened diplomatic tensions, reflecting the deep divisions among its permanent members. Voting patterns have become increasingly predictable yet consequential, with Russia frequently utilizing its veto power on resolutions concerning international security and sovereignty. Last week's emergency meeting on the situation in Eastern Europe was a stark illustration of this divide. The proposed resolution, which called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and unimpeded humanitarian access, was ultimately vetoed by Russia, a move that drew sharp criticism from Western delegations, but was defended by Moscow as a necessary measure against what it termed a one-sided and politically motivated text. This recurring pattern of vetoes has prompted renewed debate about the efficacy and structure of the Security Council itself, with many member states calling for reforms to prevent paralysis in times of crisis. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine remains the central and most contentious issue, impacting Russia's interactions within the UN system. The conflict has not only dominated the Security Council's agenda, but has also strained the UN's operational capacity on the ground. UN agencies, including the WFP and UNHCR, face immense challenges in delivering aid to conflict-affected areas, navigating complex security landscapes and political sensitivities. Russia's role as a permanent member of the Security Council, while simultaneously being a primary party to the conflict, creates a unique and challenging dynamic. Secretary General Antonio Guterres has repeatedly engaged with Russian officials, emphasizing the principles of the UN Charter and urging a peaceful resolution. Yet tangible progress remains elusive. The conflict continues to test the very foundations of the multilateral system established to prevent such large-scale wars. The multilateral challenges extend beyond the Security Council chamber into broader discussions on international law and economic stability. Discussions surrounding sanctions have become a major point of friction. Western nations have imposed extensive sanctions on Russia, and debates within various UN forums, including the General Assembly, have centered on their legality and humanitarian impact. While proponents argue that sanctions are a crucial tool for holding Russia accountable, Moscow and its allies contend that they constitute unilateral coercive measures that harm civilian populations and violate international trade norms. Humanitarian concerns are paramount, with UN officials expressing alarm over the conflict's devastating impact on food and energy security worldwide. The Black Sea Grain Initiative, initially brokered by the UN and Turkey, highlighted the potential for constructive diplomacy, but its subsequent suspension underscored the fragility of such agreements amidst ongoing hostilities. Looking ahead, the future outlook for Russia-UN relations appears fraught with uncertainty, yet diplomatic pathways, however narrow, remain open. The Secretary General continues to advocate for dialogue and de-escalation, believing that communication is essential to prevent further catastrophe. Prospects for international cooperation on other global challenges, such as climate change, counterterrorism, and pandemic preparedness, are now intrinsically linked to the geopolitical standoff. The ability of the international community to compartmentalize these issues and collaborate where interests align will be a critical test of multilateralism's resilience. Diplomatic efforts, both public and behind the scenes, will be vital in navigating this complex period and seeking common ground for the sake of global peace and security. In French. The situation remains complex, and the United Nations continues to serve as a crucial platform for dialogue, even in the face of profound disagreements. The engagement of all parties is essential to finding a peaceful path forward. In Spanish, we will continue to monitor developments closely. Diplomacy, however challenging, remains the only viable solution to prevent further escalation and address the urgent humanitarian needs of all those affected by the conflict. Thank you for joining our briefing today. We will continue to bring you the latest updates from the United Nations as world leaders navigate these critical challenges.